The purpose of this video is exercise 1-4 for CAD 211. The first thing that I'm going to do is I've already started the file as standard IPT because this is in inches. And what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to start to incorporate the dimensions into the actual sketching. So I'm going to start at my origin point and I'm just going to type in 1.5. And what this is going to do is this is going to allow me to have a slightly more constrained product as I go along, and I'm only going to be doing dimensions for those things that do not require a whole lot of math because I don't want to have to do a ton of math on the fly. I'm just doing this to save myself a little bit of time in the dimensioning because this one has lots of dimensions. So there's my 0.5, this is 1. It would appear that I'm doing a lot more math than I had originally anticipated. I do need to undo that segment, so this should only be 2. That's why I had mentioned about not doing as much math. So just be mindful, if you're doing more math than you originally thought you might, you may have to go back and fix some segments based on the dimensions that you're putting in. The other thing is making sure that you end up with the rough overall shape that you're looking for. You want to go back, double check all your dimensions, and the main thing here is since I did all the math on the fly, I don't have an overall height or an overall width, and those are my two most important dimensions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in an overall height dimension, not a line, but an overall height dimension from here to here, and that's going to come up 3, which it should, but it's also going to warn me and tell me that I'm over constraining. Adding this dimension will over constrain the sketch. Choose accept to create a driven dimension. I want a driven dimension. And what it does is it puts driven dimensions in parentheses. And basically, all that lets me know is that this dimension does not control geometry. These ones do, it's just giving me the overall information. So I'm also going to create a driven dimension for the overall width. That way I can make sure that that's correct, and I'll accept that. So I know that I've got 3 and I've got 3.5. Those are the two main dimensions that I wanted to capture. So at this point I can go ahead and finish my sketch, and I will orbit this thing around. Well, Inventor's going to orbit this around for me automatically, and now I'm going to extrude. And the extrusion thickness for this is 1.125. Now I've got the overall block. I'm going to go ahead and click on my hole command, and I will begin putting in the holes. I'll put the biggest hole in first, and it is located on this face, with this being reference 1, this being reference 2. From this side it is 1. And they changed the way the hole command works. You don't hit enter after you put in a distance now, or it'll get you out of the command. This is 1. This side is 0.75. The hole is going to go through all and have a diameter of 1. Okay, so that is the first hole. I'm going to apply that. And by not saying OK, it brings me back up into the dialog box. I have 2 more holes. Each of those holes has a diameter of 0.5. So I'll put the 0.5 in, and then I'll click this face. This upper left hole is dimensioned from the left edge and the top edge. It is 0.75 and 0.75. Okay, now I'll go ahead and apply that hole, and it'll bring me right back into the dialog box, and I'll select the face for my next hole, and it is given dimensionally from this edge and this edge. So it's located in a couple of different ways on this one. So I'll type in the 1.75 for this hole, and the 1.75 for this side. I can apply that, and that is the finished part file for exercise 1-4.